Although they are a rare sight in the United States, in Europe, station wagons are a popular part of most manufacturers' lineups. How that came about, at BMW at least, wasn't via exhaustive market research but rather an after-hours project. Max Reisböck was the man responsible. Highs. Smooth turbo diesel 6, roomy cargo hold, plush ride. Load. Slightly noisier than the sedan, disappointing steering, likely to remain an ocean away. Back in the mid-1980s, Reisböck was a mid-ranking BMW engineer frustrated by the inability of any of the company's sedans to carry the paraphernalia required by his growing family. With the practicality you'd expect from a German gearhead, he set about building his own wagon, buying an E3318i sedan that had been involved in a rear-end collision and converting it into his dream long-roof transport. The process was carried out in a friend's garage and took 6 months, with the finished car impressing his colleagues enough for the company to sign off on a production version. We drove the new 5 Series Touring in the United Kingdom, which remains one of BMW's biggest markets for station wagons, or estate cars, as the Brits say. While pretty much everything forward of the C-pillar is common with the sedan, the Touring's added practicality and handsome lines make it a particularly compelling proposition. Engine choices for the wagon are simplified slightly compared with the European sedan, with 3 gasoline and 3 diesel power plants. The 530i and 540i are mechanically identical to the eponymous US sedans, meaning a 248 horsepower inline-4 and a 335 horsepower inline-6, both turbocharged. There is also a 4-cylinder 520i in some markets, but it's the 3 diesels that will compose most of the sales volume, an entry-level 4-cylinder 187 horsepower 520d, a 228 horsepower 525d that uses a turned-up version of the 520d's turbocharged 2.0-liter. And finally the 530d with BMW's new B57 turbocharged 6-cylinder diesel that's good for 261 horsepower and 457 pounds-to-foot of torque. That's the model we drove, equipped with the standard 8-speed automatic gearbox and optional all-wheel drive. This isn't quite as refined as the 530d sedan that formed a previous entry in our series on cars European automakers deny us. The Touring's open luggage compartment creates more interior volume for harmonic resonances to breathe in, and there's a slight, but noticeable, increase in road noise compared with the hushed sedan. Similarly, the loss of the structure behind the rear seats has almost certainly led to reduced rigidity, and per BMW's figures the Touring weighs some 200 pounds more. But such modest changes don't really diminish the 5 Series Touring. The diesel engine is all but inaudible under gentle acceleration, producing a pleasantly muscular hum with firmer throttle applications. The peak torque of 457 pounds-to-foot is on deck and saluting at just 2,000 revolutions per minute, and the deftness with which the 8-speed auto shuffles its ratios means it doesn't need to be worked hard for rapid progress. Only in extremis does the engine own up to its diesel origins, as it is reluctant to rev beyond 4,500 revolutions per minute in response to transmission kickdowns. BMW's claimed 5.6 second 0 to 62 mph time, with all-wheel drive, is just 0.2 seconds behind that of the equivalent sedan. Ride comfort is outstanding, even on the 20-inch wheels of our test car. The standard air-sprung suspension does a fine job of dealing with both large bumps and rough surfaces. Steering remains a mild disappointment, the electrically assisted rack allows no real sensations to get through. And we'd like a manual gearbox, but even Europeans have given up on ordering those. The base 520d can be specified with a stick in some markets.